Y'all ready for a tutorial? I don't even remember how to do makeup. Can somebody give me a tutorial? What even is this stuff? I don't know. Honestly, I had the best time. It was just, honestly, I think I've touched my phone twice since Wednesday. Twice. I will say I have missed makeup. I have missed makeup so much, but it was so nice to spend that time with Ben. So thank you guys so much for giving me a couple days off. So we're gonna start with clean canvas because I remember doing that back when I used to do makeup. I'm gonna use the shade Fair today. I want to do some really burgundy fun tones. This is a ColourPop palette. I believe this is their newest one. Who knows ColourPop? They probably already came out with 7 since then, but this is the Wine and Only palette. It's really pretty. So we'll start with a little bit lighter base so we can really get these burgundies to come through. I also want you to notice that I'm going to bring it pretty far in this way, and I'm going to bring it out really far this way. Depending on how we're going to extend our eyeshadow, we can always come back later with foundation and melt it this way and this way, but for right now, let's make sure we lay down the eyeshadow base through here as well. So I think I want to do a cut crease situation. I just want to come back and just paint my face. So I'm going to leave my clean canvas to the side here. We're going to come back later. We're going to need that to cut the crease. For right now, I'm going to grab a small brush. And a small brush like this one's a prototype, right, to stay tuned. But a small brush like this is really going to help, minus the cat hair. It's really just going to help us have a lot more precision and place the eyeshadow. So a lot of times with hooded eyes, we start off with fluffy brushes because most of brushes in any kind of eye brush set, they're going to be very fluffy like this. So we're going to come in here and we're thinking that we're going to start off with a brush like this. No. Even if you have a pencil brush, start off with that instead of a fluffy brush. So we're going to grab this shade from the palette. I'm going to grab it right in the center of the brush. I'm not doing the side right now. We'll get back to that later. But for right now, I'm actually going to tilt my head back just a little bit and I'm going to start to press. I also want you to notice that I'm not going in my actual crease. That will not do anything for us later. That will not make our eye look larger. And I'm just going to start pressing that nice burgundy through here. Take your time. Doesn't have to be perfect for right now. And notice I haven't picked up any more. Let's just lay down that shape, pressing that in. Now, I also feel a lot of times when we're doing a cut crease, we find that if we bring it too far down, we've messed up. Don't even worry about that. We'll get to that in a little while. For now, just kind of keep packing that same color through here. And just building that up. Just press back and forth. And we'll start to work into another transition in just a second. I'm about to do a lot of talking. I'm sorry in advance. So when doing a cut crease, it's best to lay down your second darkest color. So what I'm going to do now, I'm such a visual person. This is the one we use. Now we're actually going to go into the darker shade in the palette. Same technique, but we're going to actually just press that right underneath that first shadow we laid down. I just find that if you have your medium shade down, your darkest shade works and blends into it so much smoother. So now I'm just going to continue to do that same technique, but right underneath that first shade. Okay, so the way we're going to get this transition is we're going to grab this shade here. Now we are going to use the side of the brush. So from here, I'm just going to start to tap right above our darkest shades, and you can already see that transition start to come to life there. So just really take your time. I know I say that so much, but for looks like this, you really just have to have patience. I know most of us, we just want to come in here, we want to blend. You're not going to get that smooth transition. So I've picked up the product about 3 times, and I'm just going to keep pressing until I get that really nice transition. Now you might notice this, it's not perfectly blended, but the reason why is we don't have our brow shadow. So let's do that next. Now I'm just going to grab a cream colored eyeshadow, and from here we're going to tap this on the highest point of the brow. Once we have most of that set, we can take it over this way, and you can just watch that transition together and take it over this way. So I've already went into major detail, but I'm I'm just gonna have to do this because I feel like I'm gonna run out of slides. But I will say the easier way to do this is to just kind of press it where you want it and then do that. So press and then do that. One little secret for you is I'm actually going to be using two a little bit darker shades on my lid. So if you're not that great and you don't have the precision, we're not doing a light color on our lid, but it's still going to give us a beautiful cut crease effect. You won't have to be precise. Now, if I was to use, say, this shade, I'd probably have to be a little bit more precise on my lid, but these little bit darker tones, they're still gonna pop. You're still gonna get the cut crease effect, but if you're not as steady, this is it. I'm gonna teach y'all something that's gonna look like it took 5 hours to do, but it was so easy. So we're gonna grab this. This is from that ColourPop Wind Down collection. This is in the shade Wind Down. This is Super Shock Shadow. And instead of taking it all the way up, all we're gonna do is just kind of start pressing it here. And we're just gonna leave that little gap. Look at that. So I'm using a Scott Barnes 63. And it looks like we've come in here and we've carved it out and we've taken so much time, but we have not. And I'm just gonna go ahead and bring it out this way. Don't worry about underneath here. We'll come back to that later. But I've already done this side and you can see that it just looks so cool. So I didn't put the name of the other one, but it's this set. This one from ColourPop. I think it's the Adore You set. I don't know. I'm gonna put both the names because I'm gonna be using both of them. This one is the shade Muse. And I'm just gonna take my tiny little shader brush once again, and I'm just gonna push this one towards the front. I forget how pretty Super Shock shadows are. They just have a beautiful shimmer to them. So just bring that one all the way through here. So we got us a mega wing today. I just felt like doing a classic wing. So I actually grabbed my Inglot gel liner and I did 2 drops of the Inglot Duraline. Match made in heaven right here. Over the years, I mean, obviously my job is to try out makeup, but this combination is the black eyeliner that I always go back to. And my little brush here, she's a prototype, but I'm just gonna go right into the pot, just kind of mix it around, and then we'll just go to town here. I feel like I have been baby winged to death, and I'm ready to flap around with all my winging glory here. Bring back the wing. And then we'll just take it over this way. And I'm actually going to make it a little thicker towards the inner part as well. And then we'll just fill it in. I'm almost out of my Mario eyeliner, so I'm going to grab this one. This one's from Wet n Wild, and I do love this one. This is their breakup proof. This is the gel liner, so I'm just going to run that along my waterline. And you can see how black that is. It just goes on so nice. And it does stay on the waterline. It's just not quite as black as the Mario. Okay, so now we're gonna pop on these lashes. These are from Tati Lashes. They're in the style, I lost them. Oh, they're in the style Hustler. These are with Pretty Little Things. There we go. Those are pretty, not too big. Okay, they're a little bit big, but we're glam today. So we're gonna do our Smith & Co. primer today. I actually got a little bit too much, but I find that I have a lot of redness in my chest and this cancels it out. So instead of putting foundation on my chest, a lot of times I just take this primer down. There we go, perfect. Still my favorite primer. So I'm using my Rare Beauty foundation today. I'm using 160C and 220C. I just feel it mixes to my perfect complexion. I'm just going to dot a little bit through the center. I focus most of it out here. Get ready for this. This is actually one of my favorite foundations. This was definitely one of my favorite foundations of 2020. Grabbing our Anisa Pinnacle foundation brush, I'm just going to start to melt these together. It just feels like skin, but it has fantastic coverage. We could layer on more to get a fuller coverage, but this is where I'm at. I feel like I'm always about here. I did put on even a little bit more than I usually do, but this is about as heavy as I go. Before I get this all blended in, I'm just going to pick up a little bit of the foundation from there on this little prototype brush and just kind of press it through here Make sure we didn't miss anything. Make sure we're nice and blended. Even take it across here. Look at this lift that concealer gave us. There's a delivery. I am well aware, Douglas. I hear it. Okay, so now I'm gonna grab the Rare Beauty concealer. I'm gonna use one dot and only one dot of this little bit darker shade. And what that's gonna do is it's gonna make sure that it kind of cancels any blueness. And a lot of times we think, oh, we need to brighten our under eye, so let's grab the lightest shade. A lot of time that's going to shift back gray, especially once you put powder on top. So a little bit of a shade closer to your skin tone and anything a touch peachy is really going to brighten. So now we're going to grab the shade that is going to brighten, just pop it right on top of there. And then we'll just pop it through there. And then I've already kind of done everything else. I didn't really put as much on my forehead, so I'll put a little extra there. So now we'll just press this in with our Anissa Angle Concealer Brush. And then I'll start to move around the rest of my face. And whatever's left, I'll just go down my nose, and then we'll work this in on my forehead. Look at this under eye. That's just powder. It blows my mind. I'm actually using my RCMA No Color Powder today. Let me just make sure this is nice and tapped in. And now I'll just take this on my little puff here from Amazon and just press this underneath my eye. I'm going to do this for quite a while because it's really just working it into the concealer and the foundation, and that is how we don't crease. I'm going to go ahead and set the rest of my face because I'm going to be using powder products from now on. This is one of my favorite setting powders, and it's Rimmel. It's so affordable. This is the Stay Matte Press Powder, and I'm just going to press this in with my Anissa Multi-Powder Brush. So I've wanted to try this bronzer for the last 100 years. This is the Marc Jacobs Omega Bronze. I got the shade 106 Tantalize. I'm going to grab my brush here, which is a prototype, and I'm just going to, oh, she's pigmented. So a lot of times that's going to look aggressive. Don't worry, I'm going to show you how to fix that. It's really pigmented. This is not what I expected. But let me leave it all a while, then I'll come back and show you how to fix it. So all you would do is grab your foundation brush, work in the sides first. I haven't added anything. Whatever's on here is going to be perfect. It's not going to disrupt our powder, just as long as we do not drag or pull the brush. Just press that back in. Look at that. Makeup is just about knowing how to fix mess-ups. This is also from the ColourPop Wine Collection. This is in the shade Cheerio. It's the Super Shock Cheek. And I'm just going to grab this brush here. And we'll just apply this through here, a little bit higher than we normally do. Again, with the pressing motions, we'll also press some through here where the sun would naturally hit us. Oh, that's pretty. So now we're going to grab the darkest shade from the palette again on that same little shader brush. And instead of swiping back and forth, again, I'm going to press. We're not going to have any fallout if we just take our time and really press it into our lash line. Then we'll just kind of diffuse the edges very lightly. I'm actually going to use circular motions to do this. Still not swiping, but we aren't tapping. So just some nice circular motions just to kind of smoke that lash line. So I've been loving the e.l.f. Lash It Loud mascara, even on my bottom lashes, even though the wand is quite jumbo. I just feel like it grabs and coats all of these lashes. And look at that. That looks so good. And then if you just want it a little less chunky, just pull the lash separator through here. I love this mascara. So I kind of want to do an ombre lip. So I'm going to grab this Makeup Forever. This is an Artist Color Pencil in the shade Free Burgundy. This is going to look scary till it looks cute. So let's all be scared together. So now we're just going to take this and just kind of lightly shade right there here. We're getting somewhere. So now I'm going to grab this lipstick here from Stellar Beauty. It's in the shade Mythic Moon 02. And we're just going to pop that in the center. Then we're going to grab our lip liner once again. And just kind of ombre it. Just kind of feather it together. And then don't be afraid to kind of tap it in. This literally looks like a rose petal. This is going to be so pretty when I'm done. Now for my inner corner, I'm going to use this Pat McGrath pigment. Same little brush. It's a pink pigment. It's still going to highlight, but it's just going to make sure it ties all of these really pretty burgundy tones together. Look how gorgeous that is. This is like one of my all-time favorites. And then we'll just grab a little bit and we'll do our highlight as well. Just a little bit, and I also want you to notice I'm just kind of pressing it into my skin. Alright guys, we are all done. I can't believe it's only 4 o'clock and I'm done. I mean, what have I been doing? I was even filming an IGTV in between this. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. It feels so good to be back. I know New Year's Eve is this weekend or this week. I'm sure most of you'll be doing a virtual New Year's Eve, so I'm sure you'll want a makeup look for that. Some silvers, some glitter. I'll be posting all of the makeup details for this look in just a little while. I love you guys. See you tomorrow.